Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am bringing you my end of month reading reflections for the month of August 2023. So this is basically my end of the month wrap up where I show you everything that I read during the month. I give you a little bit of soft stats, and then I give you a mini review of my highest and lowest rated reads of the month. So because I read so much in August, I am going to help myself a little bit and just give you one review for my highest rated book and one review for my lowest rated book. I have several that are in the same star rating, but I'm going to choose the one that I thought was the best of my highest rated reads and the worst from my lowest rated reads. So yeah, this is kind of a summarized version of my kind of stats during the month. I did participate in the Aurelium Magical Readathon Autumn Equinox semester, studying Master of Elements for the second year in a row. I did a lot with that readathon and really had a great time. I also participated in the 801 Festival Boys Love Readathon, which was being hosted by 365 801, and that's how I kind of started my reading month. So both of those readathons really helped me with everything that I read during the month. But that being said, I did read a lot, so there's kind of a lot to get through here. Let's start with what I read. So I will show you right now everything that I read in the month of August in no particular order. So I've got The Dead Lifeguard, which is a Fear Street Super Chiller number 6 by R.L. Stine. Karen Slaughter's Triptych, which is the first book in the Will Trent series. I Cannot Reach You Volume 1 by Mika. This one is published by Yen Press, rated teen. Ragna Crimson Volume 2 by Daiki Kobayashi. This is published by Square Enix manga, rated older teen. Criminal Intentions Season 1 Episode 2 Junk Shop Blues by Cole McCade. And Criminal Intentions Season 1 Episode 3 The Man with the Glass Eye, also by Cole McCade. Fence Disarmed by Sarah Rees Brennan. This is the second book in the Fence novels. Phantom Tales of the Night Volumes 8 and 9 by Matsuri. These are published by Yen Press, rated older teen. Cherry Magic Volumes 5 and 6 by Yu Toyota, published by Square Enix manga, rated mature. Here are the Monochrome Manga Club selections. So the Monochrome Manga Club is an in real life manga club that I host at a local Barnes & Noble. We read Volumes 7, 8, and 9 of Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa, published by Viz, rated teen. Volume 1 of Colorless by Kent, published by Seven Seas, rated teen. Run Away With Me Girl, Volume 1 by Batan, published by Kodansha, rated older teen. And Persona 4, Volumes 3 and 4 by Shuji Sogabe and Atlas, published by Udon Entertainment, and I believe these would be older teen. Volume 1 of Inuyasha by Rumiko Takahashi. This is published by Viz, rated, I think it's teen, but the sticker is, I can kind of see at the bottom here it says older teen. So, older teen. I have Cherish, which is the 6th book in the Crave series by Tracy Wolf. So this is a finished series for me. Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear Frights 1 and 2, which is Into the Pit and Fetch. This is by Scott Cawthon, Ellie Cooper, Andrea Wagner, and Carly Ann West. The Anatomist by Issa Parr. This is published by Tokyo Pop, rated mature. And I Love You by Masato Inoue. This one is published by Nihon Bungeisha and sold by Media Do International. I borrowed this one off of Kindle Unlimited. And so I don't usually see these publishers often, but yeah, I read that one. Dekoboko Bittersweet Days and Dekoboko Sugar Rush Extra, which is numbers 2 and 4 in the Dekoboko Sugar Days series by Atsuko Yusen. And Out of the Earth, which is the first book in the Out of the Earth series by Jake Bible. So that should be 24 things read in the month of August. So like I said, I did end up reading quite a bit because of the 2 readathons. I did read a lot of manga because the first readathon I participated in was the 801 readathon. Plus I had my Monochrome Manga Club reads for the month. So those are always set for me the month prior. And so, yeah. So now let me give you some soft stats. So of the 24 things I read, 15 of them were 4-star reads. So my highest rated books of the month were 4 stars. 2 of them were 3.5 stars. 7 of them were 3 stars. And that was my lowest rating for the month. So between 3 and 4 stars were my reads for the month. This was the first month in a little bit that I haven't had a 5-star read, which was interesting. But it's not too surprising considering I don't give very many 5 stars. And if you watch some of these from me over the months, you probably think, well, that's not true. Well, it kind of is, because if you look at the 5 stars that I have given, most of them have gone to series that I am like heavily reading or ones that I've already enjoyed. And so I don't usually find a lot of 5-star books. So yeah, I wasn't too surprised that I didn't have a 5-star read this month, but it was kind of unfortunate because, you know, I really love to have those 5-star reads. But maybe we'll get some 5-star reads back in the month of September. Who knows? Like I said, I read 24 books in total. So that's up from 16 in the month of July. Total pages read was 6,061 pages, which is up from 4,311 in July. I read 16 volumes of manga, which is up from 10 in July. 8 novels, which is up from 5. And 5 has kind of been the consistent number for me over the last few months. 5 novels read, which I think is good. But in August, I read 8, which is excellent. And then I combo read 4 of those books, which basically meant I read and listened to portions of the same book. And then 2 of the books I read were completely audiobooks. Of the things I read, 5 of them were audiobooks I borrowed from the library. 1 of them was an audiobook I already owned. 18 of the things I read I already owned. 3 of the things I read I borrowed from Kindle Unlimited, and I did let go of my Kindle Unlimited subscription in the middle of August, so I no longer have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, but instead I'm going to be purchasing all of the books that I would have read on Kindle Unlimited for the next, I would say, few months, and see if it is worth it for me to have a Kindle Unlimited subscription. So that brings me to 152 total things read in the year of 2023. Of those, I have read 44 novels. So I am on a great pace to reach that 52 novels in a year mark, which is kind of the sub goal that I always have for myself, because I want to make sure that I'm continuing to read novels as well as all of the manga that I already read. So yeah, I'm doing really good. I had an excellent reading month in August, and I'm hoping to continue that streak through the remainder of the year. There are several readathons that I want to participate in that I participated in before. Plus, I'll be doing my manga advent calendar project in December like I've done for the last couple years. That brings me a lot of joy, and it means that I get to read a lot of manga in December and just kind of have fun in the month of December with my reading and not really have to stress too much about things. And especially because I'm on track with the number of novels that I am trying to read this year, I shouldn't have to try to make myself read any novels in December. So that's great. So let me tell you now what my highest and lowest rated reads of August were. Okay, so I've got my highest and lowest rated reads. I also have an honorable mention for my highest rated reads. So my highest rated reads of the month are going to be these 2 books. And I say 2 books because they're both from the same series. I'm going to go with the 2 books I read from the Criminal Intention series by Cole McCade. This is a series that I have been reading recently that I have just been really enjoying. So this is a police procedural type of story where we have two detectives, Malcolm and Song-jae, and they team up at the very beginning of the series to solve a serial killer case involving gay men. And the case hits close to home because both Malcolm and Song-jae are gay. And I've just been really enjoying watching them learn how to work with each other, because Malcolm is somebody who doesn't like to work with partners and he just likes to be a lone wolf. And Song-jae is younger, but he is also more straight-laced than Malcolm is. And he definitely has his own way of doing things. He comes from a different state. He is from a different culture. Song-jae is Korean and Malcolm is Persian, I believe. And there's just a lot of interesting dynamics between our detectives. I do believe later in the series they are going to get together. There's definitely some spiciness in their interactions. There has been some sexual content, not involving the two detectives together, but with Malcolm, who likes to enjoy the company of other men. I think it was in the second book where we got a sex scene with Malcolm. There was definitely a steamy scene between Malcolm and Song-jae in the third book. They were doing an undercover, like, recon type of project, and they had to pretend they were together, and it was very steamy. So I'm looking forward to seeing how their relationship grows throughout the rest of this season, and I've just been really enjoying it. I don't enjoy so much the narrator of the audiobooks. I do find that the narrator gives Malcolm a kind of really old voice. When I hear the voice used for Malcolm, it reminds me of a 70-year-old man. And in this series, Malcolm's like in his 40s and Song-jae is in his 30s. So when you think about the fact that they're probably going to get together, or at least I'm pretty sure they are, a 70-year-old man and a 30-year-old man, that doesn't work for me. Like, I can't. And I can't picture Malcolm outside of a 70-year-old man or older if I'm listening to him. But if I'm reading him on page, I can see him as the age that he is. So I think I'm definitely going to prioritize reading this in print, though I won't say that I won't continue to reach for the audiobook here and there, because I definitely enjoy listening to them during my lunch break. It's so entertaining. The cases that they get into are interesting. There's a lot of action in a lot of the cases and how they wrap up. Just like, the tension that's building when they're going after the suspects and things like that. And I've just, like I said, really enjoyed it. In this world, too, there's a lot of Asian representation. Like I mentioned, Song-jae is Korean. The coroner, I believe, is Japanese. There's another character that played heavily in these two books that is Chinese. And the author is kind of just bringing in, like, connectors in this world. So the cases in these two books were different. However, some of the characters from each of these books outside of the police department have carried over from book to book. So there's definitely a building of the world there for me, and I'm just really eager to see how the rest of this season is going to play out. It definitely plays out like a TV show, which is why it's season 1, episode, and whatever. It does feel like I'm reading an episode of a TV show, and I'm just really enjoying it. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in these types of books or have watched like Criminal Minds or CSI or things like that and enjoy it, and are interested in some BL content as well, these are excellent. Really been enjoying those. My honorable mention for my highest rated read of the month is going to go to Cherish, which is the 6th book in the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. And I have to give this one an honorable mention because this whole series for the most part, I read this year. I read installments 2 through 6 this year. I read Crave, which is the first book in the series, last October, and just really enjoyed it. And then I blew through the rest of the series this year. Unfortunately, as a series ending book, this did not hit the spot for me. There were definitely things that I was hoping to see that we never saw. I especially wanted a little bit more time with one of the side couples, which we never got. And I kind of feel unsatisfied with the fact that we never got that. I'm hoping that the author will do a spin-off that will maybe focus on that couple, but I know that the next spin-off will focus on another character. But, you know, who knows? Maybe in the spin-off we'll see glimpses of the characters that are here as well. And just maybe I'll get that satisfaction of seeing what that couple is up to in that spin-off. But I didn't get it from here. This fell short for me as a series ender. I do think it could have been a little longer. I do feel like things were a little bit rushed towards the end. But nonetheless, I have enjoyed this series immensely this year. And I just can't recommend it enough. It definitely starts out with that supernatural school type of setting, but it quickly changes from that to a lot of questing, where our characters are questing for things and trying to take down big bad guys and things like that. And it's just so entertaining. I will have to say that my favorite book of the series is probably Court, which is the 4th book in the series. But this series on a whole, I was very satisfied with, and I will definitely be rereading it in the rest of my life because it was that enjoyable for me. So I definitely had to give an honorable mention to that book, even though it wasn't as good of an ending as I was hoping for. Now, my lowest rated read of the month was not a bad read, but I had personal issues with it because of things that I've experienced in my life. So this is not going to be something that affects everybody that reads this story. And I'm actually looking forward to trying to read more of this series because I'm hoping for a little bit of a silver lining, I guess. And so my lowest rated read of the month is actually going to be Run Away With Me, Girl by Batan, Volume 1. Like I said, I have things in my life that have happened to me that just made the things that happened in this volume hit too close to home. And it brought back some memories for me that I would rather not remember. This is a series about our two characters here on the cover. So we have Midori and Maki. Midori is the blonde, Maki is the brunette. And when our characters were in high school, they dated for a few years. And at graduation, Midori tells Maki that they need to break up, that they need to stop playing around, and they go off their separate ways. This basically breaks Maki's heart because Maki really loved Midori and thought that they had something real. Now we skip forward like 10 years later, I believe, and Midori and Maki have a chance encounter, which kind of makes them reconnect. And Maki finds out that Midori is getting married. She's engaged, she's getting married. And so Maki meets Midori's fiance and immediately sees some red flags. As this volume continues, you as a reader see more and more of those red flags in Midori's fiance, and it just escalates to the point where I got really, really angry with what happened. I am hoping that this series will turn around and give me a happy ending. I believe that's how the series will end because of how our characters are depicted on the cover of this volume. That being said, this is a contemporary romance. I'm not one that enjoys a lot of contemporary romance because it can hit too close to home. It's too realistic for me. And because this particular one hit very close to home, I have to give it my lowest rated read of the month. I would not reread this one, but I still gave it 3 stars because I have hope for this series. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad in any way, but I couldn't give it any more than a 3-star because of how personal it got for me. And for me, a 4-star means I would reread it in the future. And I can't tell you that I would reread this because of all of the emotions that reading this pulled out of me. And so, yeah, I would definitely recommend this read if you enjoy girls' love stories. I have to hope that they're going to have a happy ending, but please be aware that this series does contain depictions of an abusive relationship. So be warned beforehand. But yes, lowest rated read of the month, but that's just because that hit too close to home for me. So that is everything that I have for you for my August reads. Now, if you would like to hear my thoughts on any of the other books that I had showed you at the beginning of this video, you can check out my DCIS 19 diaries or the Monochrome Manga Club series First Impressions videos, which I've linked down in the description box below. In the description box of each of those videos, I notate which books I am wrapping up and giving you my reviews for. So in case you're only interested in a couple of these or even just one, you'll know which video to watch. I always do my book reviews at the beginning of those videos. So if you are interested in my thoughts, you can just listen to the first part of the video. But I also include some of my knitting content and some hauls and things like that in those videos, life stuff that I've experienced that week. But yeah, you can always scroll through the video because I always have either the book up or a picture of the book up so you can see where in the video I'm talking about each book. So that'll pretty much wrap up my August. I definitely had a great time. The Aurelia Magical Readathon is just so much fun to participate in, and I definitely find that during the months that I have readathons, I read so much more than I do if I'm not participating in one. And so it was great that I was able to participate in both readathons this month. I had a great time. Would definitely participate in both of them in future readathons. And so yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you participated in any readathons and how you did, which readathons those were. I would love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a rain cloud emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.